What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Tuesday night edition of difficulties here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Latrobe, to be exact. But it's another Tuesday night, and we're going to bring in Mason Maggio, who I guess the vibe is a no-hat Tuesday night, huh?
I guess so. I mean, I guess we're both on the same page. I'm guessing we both got haircuts as well today because I got one.
Oh.
Yeah, so I did hit the barber. No, it's much needed haircut because it was definitely getting a little too wild than what I could handle up top. So it was much needed. But hey, we had to look fresh for the show. The fans mean so much that we had to trim up and fresh up. That's what we're about.
Exactly. That's what we're about. So I'm over here on a mini vacation, as you will, but obviously the Motor Stardom show still rolls on. So we're here tonight talking to Camden Murphy, who had an incredible run this past weekend, finishing the second position. To him all about that, just working with him on some connection issues here. But we can attest to kind of talk. What did you think of the racing? Obviously, we got a few different races. If you count the ARCA race, we're going to talk about. We had Xfinity, we had the Cup Series. What did you make of the weekend? A lot of different racing going on. Unfortunately, we got Xfinity cut short due to rain. But how did you enjoy the Monster Mile? Steve, I wish Steven was here with us. I'm sure he had a fun weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about it next week.
Right. Yeah, I mean, ARCA race was pretty entertaining, I'd say. Obviously, Camden, our guest here today, was a part of it, but I don't know. Kind of felt a little bland this weekend, if I'm going to be honest here. I mean, Dover's obviously a very fast technical track, but it just seems like it hasn't provided like a crazy good racing product, particularly with Cup too. Cup was very kind of a snooze fest in all honesty. Again, kind of going back to like the aero package stuff that we've talked about on several occasions, plays very much a factor at Dover as well, where it was really, really tough for guys to pass, and we saw that. But yeah, just kind of lackluster, just okay. It wasn't really anything to look back on and or watch and be excited about. So, but hey, we're starting fresh at Indianapolis here, coming up this week. Second, another race on the oval this weekend. So that should be really exciting. Both races were pretty action packed last year, so I expect to see the same this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for Indianapolis. I believe, with last year with the rules package that Xfinity brought, I think it really provided a very dynamic racing that we saw. And so now that we're going to have some Cup Series racing as well on top of that, just like last year, I think it makes it a fun weekend, and everybody loves the Brickyard. So without further ado here, I know just to clarify that we have now conquered the technical difficulties. I hope our great brother here, Camden Murphy, has joined us in the show. Camden, do you have us? Mason, do you have me?
I've got you. Yeah, I'm surprised if we have a little bit of connection issues. It's been I'm back home in Florida, and it's been raining like crazy the last hour or so.
The weather hasn't been any easier. Hey,
there we go. Holy smokes!
There we go.
Perfect.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're good.
All good.
I know it's not the most normal thing you've probably joined in your lifetime. But
actually, I kind of got everything set up earlier, and I was like, okay, cool, link's working, all that, and of course, right as you really need it, doesn't work. So all good. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. That's how we roll. We go with the flow on here, man. And so we were just talking about obviously the past weekend at Dover. We got two guys here that got to watch it. And then someone in here like yourself got to race it and then finish second in the ARCA race. I mean, we'll talk about all the things that led up to that. But nonetheless, even if you had made a bazillion starts before that or one, right? Second place has got to feel really freaking good.
Yeah, man, it does. It does. It's especially kind of just my story as a whole, just driving for all the underfunded teams over the years and everything. It's definitely awesome to be able to get the opportunity to drive with Venturini Nitro Motorsports and to drive equipment like that, and to even have an opportunity to be running up front. So that's it's a really solid day. I'll be honest, my true expectations going into it were like a top 5. So the fact that we got a second out of it, I was pumped about it. I truthfully, I think trying to be, I think the goal for trying to be maybe the best Venturini car is going to be a tough one, Venturini Nitro car. But I think it's truthfully, I think that's the best result we could possibly ask for right there. The 18 and the 28 are really good. But man, can't ask for a whole lot better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Mason, did you get to watch any of the ARCA race, and what did you kind of take in from that event?
I did. I mean, funny enough, me and Camden did a endurance race together a couple of years ago, and
Yeah.
Also did a fan zone appearance as well a couple of years ago with a partner that we both had over the past couple of years with Rocky Lace Hardware. Shout out to them. But yeah, me and Camden have worked together before, and I know Camden knows how to hustle a race car. So I was rooting for him pretty much the whole time I was watching that race. I knew that was a big opportunity for him, obviously with him being in and out of Xfinity and trucks over the last couple of years. But no, man, it was super exciting. I was rooting for you the whole time, man, and was hoping that you could get to that 28. But I mean, you showed that if you could get in a solid car, you can go out there and perform and put yourself in contention. So how was it being able to, like you said, go from those underfunded teams and then put yourself in that position and really show the world, hey, I'm Camden Murphy and this is what I can do?
Man, obviously there's really not any better of an opportunity you can do with Venturini Nitro, boys. But I mean, you know how that is, right? When you're running for a lot of the underfunded teams and trying to kind of make things happen, and it's truthfully a dream come true. I mean, no pun fully intended, but it really is, man. I mean, you know what it's all like, but it's super cool. I think for a little while there, we were definitely trying to manage a little bit. I knew the 28 was out there, and I made a couple mistakes on restarts, but that's just kind of part of the game, especially not being in the seat. That's kind of a really big thing that's hard to practice. You never really get the opportunity to practice that. So, but on my restarts aside, I knew the 28 was going to be so hard to catch. So a lot of it was just kind of managing the cars behind us and managing that pace. And the 70 honestly had tons of pace in it, and we could just pretty much ride and be a couple times faster than the guys behind us. So whenever we decided to kind of pick up the pace, the 28 picked up the pace. So it was one of those things where let's just kind of ride, let's manage, hope for a late race caution, and save our stuff for towards the end of the race, and hope that there's a late race caution. But I don't really know if it would have been worth trying to chase him down. I mean, you guys know that it's a game to play, right? That's part of racing. It's just you got to take a chance every once in a while, and sometimes it doesn't always work out, but at the same time, it works out from time to time too. So it's cool though, man, to be able to showcase what I feel like I'm capable of, and to be able to put a race car in victory lane. I truthfully think I've always been capable of that, but never really truly given the opportunity to do that, So this was definitely the best opportunity I've ever had in my entire career. And I can tell you that, over 10 years of trying and 10 years of frustration and never ever giving up has put me in the position I'm at now, and brought someone like J. Cole and a dreamer himself to believe in me, a dreamer myself, and to give me an opportunity of a lifetime. It's huge, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome to see what you're doing. And for me personally, this is really cool to get to formally meet you here, because when growing up, I was was right next to that was Monster Jam. Once I started, obviously I knew, when you were making your truck starts throughout throughout the season, early, even pre-COVID and everything like that. And then kind of moving over to more of a consistent monster truck role. I was like, this guy's awesome. I was like, this guy is really, really freaking cool. And then I'm going to display the graphic here when you did the double in Nashville, which, I don't think anybody's ever done, and who knows when the next person will do it. Maybe it's you. to do it again with your new truck, Classroom Crusher. But just awesome to be able to speak with you here. And how is that kind of balancing both? I know we'll get to some questions that the fan asks us later in the show about how you kind of balance both. But what would you say is the coolest thing about doing these huge monster trucks and then still these super heavy stock cars on the weekends as well?
Well, man, and I mean, I'll just kind of start out at the beginning. It's, I grew up racing short tracks up in the Midwest, and my dad does siding for a living. So we, didn't know any racing whatsoever, didn't know what the heck we were doing, just knew how to at least load it in the trailer and get to the racetrack. So at least we got that far. But, my whole dream and goal in life and has been trying to just be able to do this for a living. I love racing. I love motorsports. And, obviously grew up on the short tracks and started just basically once I got to my NASCAR opportunity in 2014 with Bobby Dotter. I literally was living out of my car. I was sweeping the floors at race shops. I was literally sleeping at race shops and doing everything I possibly could to get an opportunity to drive. And whether that was a NASCAR or whether that was another form of motorsports, I was driving around the country chasing road racing dreams and road racing goals, just hoping to meet somebody in racing world as a whole. NASCAR obviously was kind of that goal that I had, but it didn't matter what it was. It had a steering wheel and pedals. I'm in. Sign me up. And, so when I kind of started the whole NASCAR adventure 2014, obviously I knew that it was just going to be an uphill battle, just needing the partners and sponsors to be able to get to the racetrack. And we all know that. We all know that struggle. And so, I was kind of like, man, all right, well, what other forms of motorsports can I get involved in? And Monster Jam, of course, right? I'm a big kid. We're all big kids. We all love Monster Jam. We all grew up watching it. We all grew up watching Dennis Sanderson, Tom Meents, all these greats. And I'm like, man, that'd be so cool to do. And it took me a little while, but finally got an opportunity to audition with Monster Jam at MJU with Tom Meents, Charlie Pauken, and John Zimmer. They're out there too. And though that was just as a whole was an experience. That was back in 2016, and man, I was on top of the world at that time. Like, man, this is so cool. I'm getting that run for a lot of little teams in NASCAR stuff. Man, this is Monster Jam, man. This is larger than life right here. It's super, super awesome. And all of a sudden, Monster Jam kind of took over my life, and I'm like, man, and I got the opportunity to get the job, and then it took over my life. And it's like, man, this is wild and it's so much fun. But I was trying to do the NASCAR stuff on the side too. I was trying to run part-time. Obviously, my schedule was pretty busy from January to April-ish, around that time. And so that kind of opened up my schedule for the summer where I could go and keep doing NASCAR stuff for various teams: Mike Harmon, Jen Joe, DJ Kopp, Joe Nemechek. And from there, like, okay, well, I always want to pull off a doubleheader. I think that'd be the coolest thing ever. But it's tough trying to find, events that are close and races that are close, just logistically and time, just everything. It's a true nightmare to make that all happen. But I did do it one time in an Xfinity car. I went to New Hampshire, I believe it was, ran an Xfinity car there, and then had a Monster Jam event in West Lebanon, New York. But obviously nothing like the Nashville doubleheader. That one was a whole thing in itself. But to be in the same city, wild and crazy. But the ultimate goal is being able to do both of them at the highest level that I possibly can, and be competitive in both of them. And truthfully, I'm the luckiest person alive. I get to do a part of them and be a part of them. But 2020 came around, right, and that kind of made the NASCAR stuff kind of teeter off, will die off a little bit for me, and just with having the lack of funding and just that was obviously just kind of put a stop to it, if I'm being honest with you. It all of a sudden Monster Jam really started taking over, and which I love. It's so much fun, and it's like, okay, well, we got to try to track down some more funding to keep racing. But there was a point where I didn't give up on it, but I was just like, man, is this ever going to happen again? Am I ever going to race in NASCAR again? Or what, is this going to be a one-off year, once a year kind of thing? But man, I just want to keep on trying, keep on digging. And it's just been the craziest journey, though. You know what I mean? It's just been the craziest journey. I've had a few races ever since 2020, very, very few, small handful. And but I'm just the luckiest man. I truthfully am, man. It's a big kid, racing in NASCAR part-time, and hopefully getting the whole career restarted and continuing on full head of steam with my Monster Jam career with the brand new Truck Classroom Crusher. I actually go to Canada this weekend for another Monster Jam event.
Right.
But it's just looking for more opportunities, man. And I was very fortunate to meet J. Cole at a Monster Jam event a couple years ago, and we hit it off. And one of the most down-to-earth people you ever meet, and just such a genuine person. And it feels like we sat on the phone for hours, and just he wanted to learn more about me. And you know, his brand called Dreamer, where it's really just helping people that have goals and dreams in their life that are just so far out there that people just kind of call you crazy for. You know what I mean? But he saw the dreamer in me, and he believed in me, and gave me some opportunity to run a little bit of late model and make this ARCA start. And man, it's truly making some dreams come true. And you know, like I said, a few years ago, I would have told you that my NASCAR career was coming to an end. You know, I didn't want it. Obviously, I was going to keep trying, but I just never gave up at it. And here we are, man.
Yeah, here we are. And you mentioned a ton of awesome names there. I mean, you mentioned J. Cole, who, you know, I'm sure we'll talk about here in a little bit. I want to note on one of the names you mentioned, which was Tom Mentz. And me growing up a Monster Jam fan, that was my guy. Max D, watched it, you know, through and throughout. I hate, you know, the way that his retirement tour been such to building these young Monster Jam drivers up, like an amazing crucial part. I know he's been doing that coaching for so long. 5 years ago, I got to interview Scott Douglas on a show that I was doing. Myself and Tommy Joe Martins had a show, and we had Scott Douglas on, and it was a blast. Like, that brought the kid out in me, because that was the voice I listened to growing up. So what was it like? Because Tom Mentz is another guy that I dreamed to be able to have on a show like this and have a conversation with. It like kind of having that as a guy to kind of get you that jump start? And how has he been? You know, what have you heard from all the other guys and girls that are in there training for Monster Jam, by, you know, getting coached by Tom Mentz? How's it been with him?
Yeah, well, you know, when I auditioned, obviously Tom Mentz was there, and so was Charlie Pauken, John Zimmer Sr., and
Yep.
those three as a whole. Man, I mean, I was nerding out. I was geeking out. Like, man, I grew up watching you guys on TV. I grew up just idolizing you guys, and then to add Scott Douglas into the mix, you know, we did a lot of media training and everything, and he was one of the first people I actually really kind of got to meet and hear from and everything. And I again, nerded out, freaked out. It's like, this guy's awesome. This is the voice of Monster Jam. This is the guy I grew up listening to on TV every single week, watching Monster Jam, and just was, I'm actually kind of getting a little chills thinking about it now. It's just super cool, man. And to get the opportunity to get trained and audition with Tom Mentz and them, awesome. And I've been very fortunate to get on tour with Tom and just travel the world with him and compete against him. And it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, again, you never would have thought that the little kid growing up watching it on TV that I'd be competing against these guys. And Jim Kohler's another one too. I've got a picture with him where you can a couple kind of photos, but one of them is the coolest one to me. I took a photo at an event back home in Chicago, and of him hitting a van stack, excuse me. And then Jim has a professional photo from the other side of the arena at the exact same moment of him hitting this exact same car stack or van stack. And you can see me in the stands. And I think it's just the coolest thing, because I've been on tour with Jim for a few years now, and it's just so awesome, you know. And he's got my t-shirts, and just seeing him walking around, it's just so cool, man. I'm incredibly fortunate for it. But the last 2 years now, technically, I've actually been at MJU as a trainer as well. So I've been working alongside Tom for this is going on my second year technically at MJU, and it's just so cool. I never thought I would ever be working alongside of him almost every single day, every single week during the summer, and it's the wildest thing. Heck, he called me last night. I swear to you, he called me last night at 10 o'clock last night. Murph, what are you doing? And we just caught up and just chatted. And it's just the craziest thing to have a guy like Tom Mentz just call me up and we just start chatting. So truly living a big dream, man. It's awesome. And, you know, it's one of the best drivers alive. So to learn from a guy like that, couldn't ask for a whole lot better.
Yeah, I'll have to find the picture, but there's back in the pit parties back in the day, my little brother got lifted up by the shirt. This is like 10 plus years
Yeah.
ago by Tom, lifted
Yep.
up by the shirt. Tom signed the shirt. And it was something that certainly anybody in that experience would never forget. He's a super awesome guy. And Mason, I'll swing it over to you. Yeah, did you? I don't think we've ever talked about this. Did you grow up watching Monster Jam? Were you that kind of guy?
I did for a little bit, yeah. Just for I don't have too many memories, but man, I do remember getting a lot of them when Hot Wheels was, producing a lot of the die casts and stuff like that. And like being a little kid, man, like going in like the little sand pits and just throwing them around, and then watching them a little bit growing up as a little kid. Man, I it's just such a completely different animal from what we talk about with NASCAR and these other forms of motorsports. I mean, it is just it's its own beast. Like there's nothing that compares to it. And obviously, getting to know Camden over the last couple of years and hearing his experiences and the just the whole different uh, world that it is and how cool it is. It was so cool to get that perspective because I don't know anybody that's doing it other than Camden. So it was always really cool to hear that and get that perspective. I remember we were asking a ton of questions a couple years ago when we did an endurance race together at Sebring. We were at a Mexican restaurant and we were just like, man, so what's that like? But man, that was it's so cool. It's such a cool world. But kind of going back into the NASCAR space, you talk about all those, smaller teams primarily, right? Like Mike Harmon, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Bobby Daughter. Did a lot of those opportunities, working with the smaller teams, help you with getting the opportunity that you have now? Obviously, seat time is important no matter what you're in, right? Whether it's for a big team, small team, it's going to help in any way that it can. But did any of the time that you spent driving for those smaller teams, you think that helped you pretty much excel at the opportunity that you had with Nitro and potentially more opportunities that you could have in the future?
Yeah, I 1,000% think so and believe so because at first I told myself, man, I don't really want to be a start and park ride around driver, but I got to a point where I said, I'm going to take any opportunity I possibly can. Doesn't matter what it is, I'm going to take it because, like you said, seat time is seat time. Doesn't matter what it is, who it's with, or anything like that. But I'm so fortunate that all those team owners had called me and wanted me to drive for them and just try to do the best I possibly could in the equipment we provided. But I think it was incredibly valuable because I was not only just driving, I was in the shop too. I was working on them. I was building the race cars. I was working them at the racetrack. I was getting them through tech, so I knew all the NASCAR officials and, I knew and know all the ins and outs of a race car for the most part. So, I think that was another whole valuable piece in itself, that alone. But I think when you can find yourself excelling in an equipment that's underfunded, that just doesn't have quite the technology that it needs, and you know all about this too. Just driving for the underfunded teams, it's when you can excel with an underfunded team, I feel like that helps you excel in really good equipment. It's you're driving really really hard, and you're doing your absolute best and getting every ounce of speed you can out of a ill handling race car. Whereas when you go to something that drives good, wow, it's actually kind of easy. Not saying it's easy, but it's I don't know how else to explain it, but it's just a little easier because the race car is doing what it's supposed to be doing. The race car is set up for what it really should be doing. And I mean, I remember times I went to Canada, Mosport, with a truck that was set up for Bristol. I mean, that Bristol is like the shortest, fastest racetrack we go to, and I'm going to a road course with the truck that we set up for Bristol. So, but I think it's super valuable, man. And then there's times too where when you do go out and excel in equipment like that, I think it helps your career. And I think it helps that people, man, wow, they really did a good job with that piece of equipment, and my phone did start ringing. There were various Xfinity teams, various truck teams that were calling me, asking me to work with them. And, again, going back to the whole start and park thing and riding around stuff, again, I didn't really want to do it, but I feel like I kind of got known for having speed and like, okay, yeah, we need to qualify in. Let's call Cam. Cam will get us in the show, kind of thing. And but again, it was just any opportunity I could find, could I take? I did. Because I didn't have the funding to do anything. I was literally living out of my car, and there's plenty of people that can vouch for me on that too. I had a pillow and blanket in the back seat, and but I drove to all these different racetracks. It's like, I just want an opportunity. I just want to do it. It doesn't matter what it is. I just want to do it. And I feel like, doing things like that had, Ryan Sieg called me, and I drove the 38 car, and I think I drove the 93 as well, handful of times, and then Joe Nemechek calling me. And I think, the opportunity with Mr. Nemechek is one of the biggest ones I've ever gotten in my life, outside of course, Venturini Nitro, but just in my growth, in that growth path of better equipment and just being in a different position in the racing world. I feel like that was a huge step for me. It just being able to work with Mr. Nemechek. And I remember the first time I drove his truck at Charlotte, came back in, I was like, man, this is what they drive every week. It was like, this is really good. Like, this is good. This thing drives good. And he's like, yeah, this is why we're in MCO Motorsports, why we've been around for so long, this is why I've been successful for so long. And Joe's one of the smartest guys you ever meet. So, I think driving for a lot of underfunded teams really helped me excel and move into different opportunities. So, I sorry, that was a long-winded answer to that, but yes, I believe, doing a lot of those things, it really helped and prepared me for an opportunity like this with Venturini Nitro, because they're, dominating in ARCA, and again, you couldn't really ask for anything better in ARCA. So, they know what they're doing. They've got all the right technology, all the right notes and everything that they can do to prepare to go to the racetrack best prepared they possibly can be. So, I think
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh, I know he's
Technical
back.
difficulties.
There he is.
Oh,
Hey.
there we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. Gotta love technology.
Technology. But yeah, I was literally about to say, like, you're passionate. This just means you're passionate. And like, I think I love that. We love that. Everybody loves that. And your story is awesome. You just want to be racing. And obviously you want to make it as far as you can. I mean, you just had a stint in the late models, which I'll put up here, ripping this bad boy around. I mean, first and foremost, Mason has had his fair share been fun in that round. That's something I dream of hopefully doing one day, at least once, at least one time, getting to rip a late model around a short track. Back in the stock cars, be able to then, tackle on Dover. Did it help a little bit that you were able to get some seat time beforehand?
Yeah, I think it was helpful. It's been 10 years since I've driven a late model. So, there was definitely a lot of rust to knock off, number one. Number two, I've never driven equipment as good as the Wilson boys, the Wilson Motorsports boys. Again, never driven anything as good as their equipment. So I think it really, really helped and prepared me for a lot of things. But also when I was short track racing, you were looking for tenths. You know what I mean? So yeah. Nowadays, you're looking for hundredths and thousands of a second. So you got to be on it. And again, these boys are racing every single week, 1-2 times a week. They're putting in so many laps. And, me coming in as green as I am too, and or just as rusty as I've been, it's like, man, it's going to be a tough task. And it was, but I learned so much going through that process and working with Wilson and really trying to kind of get that rust knocked off and everything. But I knew I was going to be a little bit more at home running the 3,400 pound race car. Is it just what I've known for the last 10 years, but it still was a blast. And again, great equipment. And so I think it was a great stepping stone, kind of just getting back into things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think to be able to see you out there is awesome. Mason's how many late model races are you at now this year, Mason? Or Cars Tour?
So far one. I'm hoping to do a couple more because I mean those, especially with the straight rail cars in particular. I mean they're just so much fun. They're so fast. They glide through the corner. They're gnarly race cars. So I especially with the Donnie Wilson cars, I can only imagine how awesome those things were to drive and just how well they cut through the corners. But I definitely love some good old fashioned late model short track racing. There's nothing, you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
They're fun. They slip and slide around, and I enjoy watching them whenever I can. But I want to switch gears here. We mentioned J. Cole. I got to hear the story before we hopped on here, which was cool. I'd actually never heard it before about how you met him at an event, and obviously his kids and everything, how they love Monster Jam and monster trucks. how cool is that? I mean, you kind of detailed a little bit on it before, but how cool is that to kind of build that relationship? But right now, you're with Dreamer, right? Dreamville, Dreamer, and like you said, the basis of people that have big dreams, and everybody has big dreams, and it's awesome that they have been riding with you for that. How cool is it to obviously not only meet him, but kind of be a part of something that obviously he is a part of?
It's the wildest thing ever, man. And it really, really is. I never, ever in a million years would have expected it. But I think that's the best thing is when you least expect it, right? I mean, again, there was a part of my career recently where I was like, man, I think this is kind of over. I'm not giving up on it by any means, but it's like, man, this is the light is dimming. You know what I mean? And how can I reignite this? And I think that the ultimate thing with all of it is just truthfully never giving up. I mean, it's cliche. It sounds crazy, sounds wild, and everyone, oh yeah, that's so cheesy, but that's what it is. I mean, I've been at this whole NASCAR thing for well over 10 years, and it's crazy to think where I started and where I've gotten to and where I am, and the people I've met along the way, obviously, So Monster Jam has been true blessing in disguise, and I absolutely love being a part of it. And the people I've met over the years is some of the wildest people I never thought I would ever meet, and J. Cole being one of them, And I just had an opportunity to hang out with him and his family, and we just really kind of hit it off, and really understood kind of the Dreamer and the Dreamer brand, and I started learning more about it myself too. And um, you know, I just remember it was 4th of July 2 years ago, and he and I just sat on the phone and just talked and just learned more about each other. And I told him my story, and we just really had a great time talking. I mean, he was getting ice cream, and I was at a grill out, and it was super cool just having this down to earth conversation with someone like J. Cole, which is one of the most down to earth people you will ever meet. And at the end of the phone call, it was just, I don't know how or what, but I want to help you. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know in what capacity, but I want to help you achieve your dreams. And I've really come to more understand the whole Dreamer brand as a whole through this whole process. And he's a dreamer, and he is someone that had uphill battle, and truthfully has come out one of the biggest stars in the world. And so he knows firsthand what that's all like. And he saw the dreamer in me. He saw that the never give up attitude, that I'm just going to do absolutely whatever it takes to achieve my goals and dreams in life. It doesn't matter what obstacles are in the way. I'm going to push through. And I don't care how many people tell me I'm crazy. I'm going to keep pushing through. And that's what Dreamer's all about. And that's what he believes in. It's just the people that have those dreams in their lives that just know that they are so just out of this world. But the people that just won't give up on them, the people that just, nope, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I don't know in what way, what capacity, but I'm going to find a way. And I've just been incredibly blessed that I've been able to meet J. Cole, and for him to give me this far-fetched and amazing opportunity. I will forever be grateful, and wherever it takes us is wherever it takes us. But the path I've been on so far is more than I would ever expected in my life. And I really truly believe that, don't give up. I was 18 years old when I started this journey in the NASCAR world, and I'm turning 29 tomorrow. And so, it's just truthfully, man, you can't give up on it. And yeah, I don't care how cliche, crazy it sounds, but you got a dream, believe in it. And just don't care what anyone thinks. So, and J. Cole truly sees the dreamer in me.
Wow. Well, happy early birthday from us here and
Appreciate it.
everybody watching as well. That's awesome. We'll make sure to
Appreciate it.
give you a shout out tomorrow when we start getting some stuff up. But obviously, when I hear the name J. Cole, one thing I tell people, and it's just friends, family, but anybody, is one of the coolest parts I feel like about being in media for NASCAR, just in the realm as well, is the celebrities that show up. Like getting to see these people that come to the races. I mean, just the Daytona 500 alone. a year ago, over a year ago, having The Rock, DJ Khaled, and Pitbull all in one media center, like getting to be right in front of them and having the opportunity to ask them questions was like absolutely insane. And if I told somebody like, hey, I just met The Rock or saw The Rock, and they'd be like, oh, where'd you meet him? Like a movie set, this, that. I'm like, nah, NASCAR race. Like they'd be like, really, really confused. So it kind of brings me to the question. Has there been any talk? And when we getting J. Cole out to a NASCAR race? Because I feel like he would love it. I feel like everybody loves it. I say once you can get up close, I mean, how can you not love special access to a NASCAR race? But when we getting Jermaine out to the racetrack, because I would love to be there for that.
Yeah. I'm not sure, if I'm being honest with you. I know we had planned coming out to one or two here, but he's incredibly busy right now. So, which is completely understandable. So getting him out there totally gonna be tough. But I do know for a fact he has been watching every single lap of every single race I've ran, late models, ARCA. He is all in and been supportive in every capacity. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He actually called me after the ARCA race, but I was on the plane, so I haven't actually spoken to him since the ARCA race. But I'm hoping soon. I want to get him out to the racetrack and want him to experience it and see it. But the coolest part, though, I feel is he has learned so much about it, and he has soaked in so much information. I mean, you guys know this world is so different. The racing world, there's just so many little details here and there that you don't see in the outside world, or when you're watching on TV, you might not understand or see or anything like that. But that first phone call I had with him, I fed him so much information, and he soaked up every ounce of it. So the next time we talked on the phone, he was asking questions about this and that and this and that. Man, I was like, most people don't remember all those details, and he's just so invested, and it's so cool. So I know even though he's not there, he is all in. He is incredibly invested and incredibly supportive. So I hope to get him to the racetrack soon. I want him to see it, want him to get the sights, smells, because you guys know when you guys go to the racetrack one time, it's like, all right, yeah, this is pretty cool. I got to come back.
Exactly. And so now the last thing on J. Cole before we swing it around here, we'll start with Mason Maggio. Favorite J. Cole song? Go.
Oof, man, I have to look back. There's a handful that are definitely on the playlist. It's hard to pick one. I'm sorry. It's just banger after banger after banger after banger. I can't choose, man. I can't.
It's like you could go old, you could go new. It's like it's all just meshes. It's so good. Do you have a favorite, Camden? Because
I've got two. I'm a big fan of No Role Models.
Yep.
Crocodile Tears is good, and then we used it on a post recently. I was pretty pumped that we used it on a post as Clouds. That one, I'm a big fan of that one too.
Yeah, that's cool. Shows the versatility, because No Role Models came out a while ago. Crocodile Tears literally came out last year. So he's still kicking in the game, and he's got a long way to go for sure. So yeah, hopefully we'll see him at a race soon. But it's so awesome that you guys have had that pairing. We'll move over to our third co-host here, who's usually here on Tuesday night, Stephen Malazzi, but he is not tonight. But he did have a question that he did want to ask you, so I'll display it here on the screen. And he says, is there anything similar between NASCAR and Monster? Could pick anything. If they both.
Oh boy. No. I mean, I think I was really trying to think, because I get asked that question a lot, and I was really thinking hard about it there for a second, but not really. If I'm being honest with you, I mean, you strap in close to the same way with the same belts. You don't strap in the same way. So there we go. I just thought about that. We got a ratchet strap on our lap belt, so you get in as tight, or you can't move at all. So I know we don't really do that in stock cars. So, no, we use the same equipment, safety equipment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got a Monster Jam truck, it's 12,000 pounds. Yeah, fire suit, helmet, Hans, gloves, shoes, all that. I'm gonna go with that. Just generic.
That's good.
Because I mean, you've got with the Monster Jam truck, it's 12,000 pounds, 1,500 horsepower. You've got rear steer as well. So, you're just trying to tame it. You're trying to manage all of that. And in the NASCAR car, you're trying to manage it too, but just in a completely different way. I mean, in the Monster Jam truck, you're along for the ride. That's maybe a better way to put it, where you're trying to push it in a direction, but it decides where it wants to go. You're just going to react to whatever it does. Whereas the NASCAR car, you have a general idea of what it's going to do. You just try to put it in that direction. And if it does it, it does it. If it doesn't, it kind of somewhat does it. But you can point it in a direction and it generally sticks in that direction, if that makes any sense. So your safety equipment.
Yeah, I like that answer. And I guess this question maybe will be different. He did want to have to ask a second question. He said, thoughts on Bloomin' Onions?
I'm in all day. I tell you though, but when you order it though, going into it, you're not going to eat all of it. And I feel bad.
Yeah, that is true.
But I'm a big fan.
It's tough to take down on its own.
Yeah,
I haven't even thought about that process before, because usually anytime I'm getting a Bloomin' Onion, and just FYI, he's big Outback guy. He is the Outback guy, basically.
Noted.
Hard to take down a Bloomin' Onion, but they are definitely very tasty. So we talk about Outback, and we can move here. Get the fans. We're able to ask some questions. The first one, I guess I'm going to throw in here. It's not well. I guess we can consider him a fan. Mason, why don't you read this question from this great fan here
then? Yeah, definitely a big NASCAR fan right there with our Densey Energy Pouch fan question from some guy named Josh Balicki.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Who would win in a shifter cart race? I actually want to know. I want to see who's going to be who's going to have the upper hand. I think that'd be a close one.
The racer inside me wants to say me, but I know he's got. I have a shifter car too, and we went to the track. He would take mine out, and then he finally got one. Obviously, he lives in Wisconsin, so we don't see each other too often anymore. But Balicki's actually one of my best friends. I've known him for over 10 years, and we traveled the country together. Actually, he and I were driving around the country to different driving experience events. We were doing everything under the sun we could to create opportunities. So he right there was right along with me, and I have logged thousands upon thousands of miles with that man. So, man, I want to say me. I know it would be him because he's got a bigger kart racing background. But anytime we go to the rental kart track, it's always a great battle. So, if we're talking rental karts, I might get him some time to time. But we're always pretty evenly matched. It's always a lot of fun. So I'll give it to him in the shifter car. I'll give it to him.
We'll give it to him. Yeah. He's a great guy. We had him on this show probably 2 or 3 months ago. Known him for a while. Dude's awesome. Josh Balicki. We can't talk about him enough on this show. Absolute wheel man. Yeah, for those that he is a NASCAR driver, not a fan. He is a guy that wheels race cars on the weekends. But what's been cool is the driver. I love when the drivers have been playing into this our Densey question of the week, which allows us to do 2 here, because now we can move to another question. Here, this one. Angelina Knock accepts a dare to run your ARCA car in a race. How would she do?
I think she'd do good. We went to the car track not long ago, and I think she would do just great. I bet. Angelina Knock is my girlfriend, so yeah, I think she would do great. Honestly, we're actually talking about going to the go-kart track maybe tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But I think she did good. I know she's a daredevil at heart, so I know she's not scared of anything, so she'd go for it.
So we're spending birthday at the go-kart track is what I'm hearing.
Maybe. I got to work at the shop tomorrow, but maybe in the evening. We'll see.
Yeah, but if you can get some free time in there, we definitely want to make sure you enjoy it for sure. Track 1 / Trackhouse Motorplex in Charlotte. That's probably the fastest place.
That's the one.
It's always gnarly. Can't get enough of it, man.
Wicked. I looped it on my first lap at Trackhouse Motorplex. Sent it over the rumble strips and just flew into the grass. Like, it was kind of fun, honestly. The way I spun out, did a whole. Felt like Jimmy Johnson at Dover. That highlight we always see. Really save it. But pass it to you, Mason. Is there anything else you want to add on here, my friend, after we have completed our Densey questions of the week? Use code Maggio15 and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess kind of going back to the go-kart stuff, I tell you what, with the shifter carts that Josh brought up, I tell you what, man, They're hard. They're a lot harder than I thought. They're not like the rental go-karts like I thought they would be at GoPro or slash Trackhouse, whatever you want to call it now. But I went with, funny enough, somebody that Josh Bullock's driven for, which is Josh Rayom. And he took me out, didn't give me any of the safety equipment, didn't give me the rundown on anything. He was just like, here, go give it a try. Have fun. And I was like, all right, it can't be that bad. After about 7, 8 laps, I came in, turned the cart off, and I probably sat there like this for about 5 minutes, just like trying to catch my breath. I mean, they throw you those carts, they throw you around, they knock the wind out of you. I mean, they are a beast, and I had a lot more respect for guys that are doing the shifter carts from there on out. So they're man, I got to do it again another time whenever I'm given the proper equipment. I didn't get to wear the rib brace or whatever
I've
it's
never
called.
owned one. I've never used one. For being
Really?
honest with you. Yeah, I've never used one, but I hear they're great.
I was gonna say I heard they're great too, but just because I didn't get to use one, so I don't know. Maybe maybe I got to work on the upper body. Maybe I got to hang with you then. I got expectation now. If you're saying, yeah, I've been able to do it, not have any problems.
Oh no, it's brutal. I'm by no means saying it's no problems. It is. I bought my cart years ago, and I just took I came across the steal of a deal to buy a Rotax as well a couple years ago, and I did. Why did I do it? But I did. It's the addiction. It's the racing part of things, and so I was like, okay, well, we'll go out there, we'll have some fun with it. But I haven't. I just took the Rotax down. I don't think I've taken to the track in 2 years. I think I've just been too busy. But the shifter is one thing I will say. You have to have respect for a shifter cart.
Oh yeah.
It will throw you around, and you will be wore out after you run that thing. So that's kind of the reason why I bought it all those years ago. It's because I knew it was a great training tool, and that's why I know Blakey bought one, because it's keeps you in shape. But yeah, it beats your ribs up a little bit, but it keeps you in shape. Keeps you trying to to keep all the muscles moving and everything. And it's aggressive, man. I just want to get back to the track with them too, because karting is a lot of fun. It's like such a great discipline to go into, to just really kind of hone your skills a little bit and work on being smooth and stuff like that. So I love karting. Karting's a lot of fun. Shifter cart, yeah, you will earn respect for that cart real fast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds like something that Josh Bilicki would absolutely love. So now that I'm hearing about it, that sounds right in Josh Bilicki's wheelhouse. So.
When we traveled the country together, we would always try to find the local go-kart track, and we would go, and we would beat the heck out of each other every time. We just beating and banging, but had a blast.
Awesome. Well, we love to hear that. I do. Before we let you go here, I do want to talk about one last thing. I do want to bring this up. Show the picture as well, because this truck is sick. The class we were able to introduce. I've gotten the pleasure as well to do some stuff with Monster Jam this year. Got to cover the weekend in Tampa earlier, and then got to go to Orlando for the event day on Saturday, and got to see this thing in action at Camping World Stadium. And I know you've had a great year in this truck. A lot of fun with the, not only just driving the truck and having fun and hitting those dang backflips and everything that you do, but also the activation with the truck as well. How fun it been to introduce you here, but what have you kind of found here with the Classroom Crusher, and how fun has that been?
Well, the coolest part is this is the second truck I've been able to debut to the world, and so I had the opportunity to debut Bakugan Dragonoid in 2019, and I feel like I was a big part of that. I was a big part of that truck's success, because when you thought of Bakugan, you thought of me, and vice versa. And so having this opportunity to debut another brand new Monster Jam truck, and me being the only one out there in Classroom Crusher, and having to try to put this truck on the map is so tough. I mean, it's super, super hard, especially when you're trying to put the truck's name on the map. So when it comes to judgeszone.com and the fan judging and stuff like that, you're a little bit behind the ball when it comes to that, just because the fans don't know the truck. They might know me, but the people that don't know me don't know the truck, and so it's just an uphill battle. So especially when you're on tour with guys like Tyler Meninga or Barry Musauer or Colt Stevens, it's gnarly. It is gnarly. And so, when 2 of the 3 competitions are judged down by the fans, it's just a real big uphill battle. So, when they have a good night, I have to have a great night, So it was a really, really good year. It really was. We had some tough luck here and there that kind of got us behind a little bit and trying to catch back up. And we finished third at the end of the season. And I feel like we could have been contending for the championship if I didn't have some of those hiccups and some of those other hurdles. But, hey, it's part of it. And I absolutely love Monster Jam, and the fan reaction to the new truck has just been awesome. So, to have the opportunity to be a part of Monster Jam is a truly dream come true. And to be in the Monster Jam pit parties where it's unlike any other motorsport. We're signing autographs for like 4 hours every single event, every single weekend. Every single moment that you spend with the fan could impact their life. And I know that when I was younger, when I got that high five or I got that fist bump from Jim Cole or Tom Mintz, whoever it was, that stuck with me. And now I know that I'm in that position to potentially make an impact on someone's life, and to be a part of Monster Jam, to be a part of that, and have that opportunity to potentially really just leave a mark, leave a lasting impression on someone is impactful. And I know that I want to give my all, whether it's on the track or off the track, because Monster Jam is larger than life, man. It's the biggest spectacle on the planet. We travel the world, and to see the horizon that Monster Jam has is amazing, and to be a part of that and to have that platform to spread my story too is awesome. So it's been a blast, man. This has been, like I said, an opportunity of a lifetime to be part of Monster Jam, and to hopefully start reigniting my NASCAR career, and to be the only person that does them both on a regular basis. So looking forward to seeing what's next, man.
Yeah, this has been so cool to see your journey. So cool awesome to finally be able to get to chat with you. Yeah, no, we'll connect down the road. When's the next time we can expect?
Not too sure. Yeah, not too sure yet. We're working on all that. So you guys know how that is. It's just trying to put it all together. So hopefully soon. Hoping this created some more opportunities for me. And I can't thank Venturini Nitro enough for the opportunity to go there and to showcase my talents over there. And so we'll see. We'll see. I know J. Cole's all in and supporting me and trying to make this dream a reality and believing in this dreamer. So I'm not sure. Hopefully soon. But I appreciate you having me on, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, we know how it goes for sure. So if any team members anything see this guy finished second at the Monster Mile after coming back to NASCAR. So if you need anything else, I guess let us know. But this guy's your guy right here. So Camden, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was awesome to talk to you, and of course, happy early birthday to you, my friend.
Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me on. I apologize about the technical difficulties. I literally used this exact setup earlier today to do a Monster Jam interview, and it worked flawlessly. So gotta love technology, but thank you guys again. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir, man. No worries at all. Talk to you soon, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And that is Camden Murphy, driver of Classroom Crusher. Like he said, he has invented a lot of monster trucks in his time, which has been really cool to see. And happy early birthday to him as well. Didn't know that one, but hey, fun fact. A lot of birthdays going around here. Obviously, Mason Maggio just had his 21st. I'm in Pennsylvania, so first, who's actually, quite frankly, been on the show before. A few weeks ago, Cesar Baccarella filling in for Mason Magoo when Mason could not make it because whatever happened that week. But happy birthday to him here for his 21st. As you can see, the Pittsburgh backdrop. I'm not a Pirates fan by any means. I was for one night. I did get to go to PNC experience. Not the game, though. The Pirates got absolutely destroyed. Which seems to be like life as a Pirates fan. So, yeah, people Goose hair. Shout out Seamus. Love to Mason.
Yeah, much needed. Thank you, buddy.
You're freshly faded up. So maybe good Stevens out this weekend because he probably would say some things that. Maybe
would not be PG for the show. We will say that.
No, not that there's a rating for the show, but I mean,
but there is a fine line.
There's a line, there's something.
There's at least a line.
You may just see it. It's just in the background back there, But nonetheless, yeah, really cool to have Camden on. His story is awesome. And just like what I told him, I mean, I've grown up watching Monster Jam and NASCAR, obviously now being in the NASCAR space. But what's also been one of the coolest things I've been able to do this year was go to Raymond James Stadium, with Monster Jam, and then being able to have me do stuff for them and do stuff with them was really, really awesome. So that was really cool to have him on. We can go through a few of the little headlines rapid fire here before we log off. Chicago Street Course is not returning. We talked about Chicago. Didn't get really talk too much about it. We're not returning to the Chicago Street Course in 2026. Where we next year for the now Chicagoland Speedway. Talks around the garage are maybe. Oh man, I know you never got to really totally soak in the Chicago Street Course as much as you two got it in the dry, but they won't be going back there next year.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked just because of how successful this past year was between ticket sales, viewership, and on top of that, the race was fun to watch, right? But obviously with street racing comes some complaints, right? From you have to go through a lot more approval process, right, compared than you would your average racetrack or your road course. You got to get approval from the city, you got to get approval from the councils and get permits for this and that and so forth. So I know that was really difficult. I know that was a big conversation. And I know on top of that too, I hate to say it, but for the non-NASCAR fans that, were having to deal with this and completely kind of work their day to day around this one event. I know I saw some interviews, funny enough, after we were talking about it, saying that I thought that Chicago was going to come back, of a lot of people saying, hey, we don't really want it back. It's kind of a nuisance. It's in the way, and we don't really care for it. And I was like, wow, it was a shocker to me because I loved it as a fan. I loved it. But no, I mean, if it is the end, then, Chicago would put on a phenomenal show year in, year out the last couple of years. Hopefully San Diego is in the equation. I know Chicagoland has been in the conversation more and more over the last couple of weeks. So obviously if it's in the conversation and it's rumored as high as it is, it might happen. It's from the sounds of it. If it's going on as long as it has been, it's probably going to happen. So, but would love to see another street course added to the schedule. San Diego, I know, is a possibility. I want to see. I would definitely like to have at least one on the schedule, just because it's so different from what we've been doing over the last several years with NASCAR, and obviously approved to put on a show if we do it right, which is what we did this past year. So I'd love to see another street course, whether that's San Diego or somewhere else across the country in a major city that we have. I definitely think a street course should be in the picture for sure.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think the racing at Chicago was a lot of fun to watch. I think the track was just really dynamic in itself. Just when we had the loop and the straightaways, the different types of asphalt, concrete, pavement that we're racing on. It was a lot of fun to watch. So hopefully the track that they do design in San Diego, if we do so go there, is able to provide that same amount of cool racing. So something that I'd like to do here at the end of the show is maybe we can make this tradition. Little shout outs, kind of go down the list of some photos I got loaded in here to shout out some people. And the first one we'll do is Joe Logano and Ross Chastain for making Sunday's race somewhat entertaining. It was not the greatest NASCAR Cup Series race, certainly, of all time. It was one of the NASCAR races of all time for sure. But Logano and Chastain are continuing their beef. Every time that damn 22 car was around that one car, he let him know. Kind of takes it back to a few years ago when Denny Hamlin was pissed off at Ross Chastain. And that same exact vehicle, also that Moose car, just seems to be able to magnetate, I guess, some angry veteran race car drivers against Ross Chastain. So definitely shout out to them. Hopefully they'll keep that feud up. Shout out to LeVar Scott. We talked about it last week. He made his Xfinity Series this week. qualified well, kept the car clean, finished in the 28th position, and is in competitive. And you literally, of all people to know this, Mason Maggio knows this, how competitive the Xfinity Series is, how competitive these teams are. This is an awesome feat for him. Alpha Prime Racing, awesome that they gave him this opportunity, and I'm sure it's only going to grow greater after that. And just translating right after that, a guy that not his debut, but getting to get back into the series that he hasn't run since 2013. Rajah Caruth was able to join up with Jordan Anderson Racing. Again, just not much seat time. You know how practice and qualifying is. You get a few seconds, and that's it. Boom, then you're qualifying, and then you're into the race. Rajah was able to have some good pace, started 16th, and was able to finish 22nd for Jordan Anderson Racing. So some great storylines throughout the field. Don't have a picture, but shout out as well Ty Dillon making the finale for the NASCAR in-season tournament. It's going to be 32 seeded Ty Dillon against the other Ty Gibbs for Joe Gibbs Racing at Indianapolis. Obviously, a lot to race for this weekend. You want to kiss the bricks. You got playoff drivers trying to, maybe in must-win situations, trying to get themselves a strategic victory. You got guys on the cut line, manage their point situation and hope somebody new doesn't win. And then you got this stuff with Ty Dillon and Ty Gibbs, who are going to be fighting it out at the Indianapolis Oval. I think, to me, this is where Ty Dillon's Cinderella story ends. I think Ty Gibbs that team has been really fast lately, and I think these kind of wild card, races are out of the way where John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon kind of was a toss-up. I don't think this one is, but hey, we've seen some crazy stuff in this in-season tournament. You never know if we can see Ty Dillon holding the trophy. I think that'd be a funny storyline for the first year of the in-season tournament. What do you say?
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I think it's cool, right? Having that something new to bring to the sport. I think it's something that we should continue for sure, because I think it adds more entertainment and something else to watch other than, hey, what's going on in the top 5, top 10. But no, I'm rooting for Ty Dillon just because it's a feel good story, right? And I feel like that's been the talk of the garage area is, hey, look at Ty Dillon moving on to the next round. Oh, he moving on again? Cool. Wow, he's in the final round. It's something we didn't expect to be talking about, but here we are talking about it. So, and I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think Ty Dillon has done a really pretty good job overall in that car this year. So, to see Ty kind of get a little bit of spotlight and be able to, kind of shine in his own way with the opportunity that he's got this year. I know he was super, super excited telling the media that he felt like this was his best opportunity in Cup to date. So, and obviously he's finding a way to be in the spotlight and to put his name on the map. So, and he's done a good job of that. I'm rooting for Ty Dillon. Obviously, Ty Gibbs is going to be really, really tough competition. Like you said, they've been fast. But deep down, I'm rooting for Ty Dillon. It's going to be the Ty and Ty show, but I'm going for Ty Dillon, baby. I'm going to make it happen.
Oh, yeah, baby. We're rooting for that underdog story. Can he make it happen and break the sports books, which there really are none because betting ended 5 weeks ago when we started this damn thing in Atlanta. So hopefully next year we'll see maybe a better arrangement of the beginning of tracks. But all in all, I think it's been fun. It's created some fun storylines, some fun banter between some drivers that probably wouldn't be getting any spotlight right now, right? But to just face the facts, right? But to be able to have John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon having some banter before the race, I think is a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to the Brickyard. It's going to be a fun weekend. I think it's been awesome ever since they added the trucks at IRP. We got ARCA at IRP. It's a full weekend. Trucks and ARCA at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And then you go over to the Brickyard, and you got the Xfinity Series, which put on a great race last year. Great finish. And the Cup Series as well. Where Kyle Larson was able to take that victory. Can he go back-to-back? Hendricks had some decent speed lately. Can Kyle Larson kind of get out of a slump here? Had some more speed at Dover. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting weekend, but we will play. There we will play the music.
There we go.
As we begin to outro ourselves. Time our day starts with hosted here every Tuesday night before the start of the show. Even when I'm in Place Road, PA. Not too much to do down here, but celebrate Fellows' 23rd birthday. Last night in Boston, $80. This is Mason Maggio. We drive the NASCAR Series and the NASCAR Truck Series, and I guess sometimes one way conference per year. been great having you guys here. First on tonight. Yes, he's going to do some things this hopefully in the future. And shout out to J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole. At some point. So, you guys too. Tune into the Motor Stars. Thanks for everybody watching as well. Check the Dan, check the Black Dan, see us. All of you guys are awesome. We'll see you.